Grateful to God that we have a full, fantastic evening with our presentation. My name is Shelley Bowe. I'm a rapid transformation therapy practitioner. I'm a nutraceutical consultant. I'm a certified product specialist, and I have had 25 years in practice working with people to support them in their health and wellness goals. And I come to you tonight with the first of a 9-month series. So thank you for being here. Thank you for all of our guests who are here. If you're a guest, please throw it in the chat. Let us know who invited you. It's always fun to see where you're coming in from. What do you do for work? I know we've got some doctors on tonight. Certainly introduce yourselves. This is a place of connection and building relationships. And we're just so happy that you guys have all come. Let me just shut that off so we're not worried about that. So guys, as we get started, I do need to state that these statements in this presentation have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. Market America's products are not intended to diagnose, cure, treat, or prevent any disease. So let's start out by talking about the changing landscape of nutrition. How many of you would agree that there are some definite changes that are taking place? How many of you would agree that there are some things that we may have to change to adjust to the changing landscape of nutrition? Let's take a look at the way it used to be as opposed to the way it often is today. Again, I'm not here to offend anybody, and I am certainly not here to say that those of you who are in attendance tonight are doing the things that are creating negative habits. I am saying that about 80% of our population is finding themselves living such a busy, fast-paced life that they're doing whatever they can to just get by. And unfortunately, it's leading to more sedative lifestyle. It's leading to fast food, and it's leading to filling our bodies with things that we all know are going to be detrimental to our health. You know, I grew up on a large dairy farm in Wisconsin. All we did was work. So by the time we sat down to eat, our bodies were ready to metabolize and use it. We were also actually eating real food in most cases. So making a change sometimes can be challenging, right? I always say the only constant is change, and change can be very good. And at the same time, change can be very challenging for a lot of people who actually value certainty, who value the safety of things being constant. So we have to ask ourselves some questions. Do we want to provide our body with the nutrients that it needs to function optimally? Do we want to age well inside and out? Do we want to increase our energy, support our heart? Do we want to maintain a stronger body? And if the answer is yes to any of these things, then you're in the right place at the right time. Now, the person who invited you would love to hear from you. They have a health survey. They're happy to send it out to you. We can do it with the tap of an app. What we want you to consider tonight is think about you and the people you know and the people you care about. What kind of issues are they facing? What kind of health challenges are they walking through? You know, most everyone I talk to, it comes back to weight management, stress, and sleep. Well, put those three together, right? Tell me there's not a relationship. So if we are struggling with good, healthy sleep, would it make sense to all of us? We might have lower energy. We might have lower stress capacities. We might struggle with having a healthy metabolism. And eventually what's going to happen is it's going to lead to all sorts of other things. I know you can see Kim and Nancy Elliott if you're somebody who has experienced pain in your joints and you want to carry on that physical endurance, that lifestyle. Ask him in the chat what he did for that, because he has had tremendous results like me with joint support so that we can continue to do the things that we want to do and maintain good, healthy physical endurance. You see, the human body works a lot like a machine, doesn't it? There's a lot of moving parts. All of those parts need to be working in relationship to one another in order for us to function optimally. So how are we managing our stress, our sleep, our exercise, our mental clarity? Have we established these things as daily habits? How do you take care of yourself in your tune-ups, right? We take care of our cars. I can't imagine any one of us not getting our oil changed, right? we wouldn't consider not getting a new filter put in. And at the same time, we expect that our body should just keep going. And here I am, 102 years old, and just kidding, not 102. I have often said, I want to die young, as old as I possibly can. And if that doesn't hit you right now, write it down and take a peek at it later. You see, in order to keep these parts functioning to their full performance, we've got to keep that fuel tank full. And we gather fuel from different types of foods, different diverse foods. Issue we face. And if we all be very honest, we are consuming things that are depleting the body of the very micronutrients that we're asking ourselves to utilize to function. Soda, alcohol, sugar. How about medications? Are we familiar with statin drugs and how they deplete the body of the coenzyme Q10, the spark plug to the cell? Are we familiar with antacids and how they deplete the body of iron? How about people who struggle with sugar diabetes and regulating sugar levels in their body? Do you know that most of those drugs are depleting you of magnesium? Do you know that when you're taking an antibiotic, that is going to actually throw off your pH of your good and bad bacteria and have an impact on your actual intestinal flora? If you didn't know those things before, you do now. So please take notes on some of these things. It's important that we understand why we're coming up with deficiencies. So I think, it's kind of a funny question to even ask, do all Americans get the nutrients they need? I think we all know the answer to that, but let's take a look at what the national surveys are saying. The first thing we know is when you see this list of 5 things here, the vitamin D, the folic acid, potassium, magnesium, calcium, these are the nutrients that surveys say we do fall short in. So what do we know about this? We know that people at an overall adherence, it's very low. We know what to do, but they just frankly don't do it. We know that people struggle sometimes to change behaviors they've become accustomed to. Maybe they've been doing these things since they were 5, thinking, didn't bother me when I was 5, 18, 25, 34, but now I'm 55. And now I'm starting to see the impact. An estimated 27% of our daily caloric intake, the American diet, it's calorie rich, but it's nutrient poor. So we've got people walking around with these big bloated bellies because they're taking in plenty of calories, but those calories are so empty, they can literally be anemic. Alcohol oftentimes will constitute for about 4% of people's caloric intake. We know that physical inactivity is an issue. We know eating high calorie, low nutrient deficient foods is an issue. We also know that there's a lot of people that are just frankly not willing to invest in their health until they've received a diagnosis, a label, or a disease state. And unfortunately, guys, Kim Rayner is on with us tonight. Kim has walked the walk. She can talk the talk because she has brought herself through it. She made major life changes. Reach out to her in the chat and ask Kim about her story, about what she did. Connect with her because she will tell you it's a whole lot easier preventing disease than it is to work so hard backpedaling once you've been diagnosed with disease. So we know that we're getting a major effect on many areas of health. And we also know that people are experiencing lots of deficiencies. None of this is a secret anymore. But you still may say, well, why do we need to supplement? I went to school for this. They told me in school we can get what we need from our food. Yeah, maybe in 1950 we could. But there are issues that have changed now. So without enrichment or fortification or supplementation, it is a proven fact. Research has concluded Americans are not receiving the recommended micronutrient. So macronutrients, fats, carbs, protein, micronutrients, underlying minerals and vitamins. Think about the trace minerals that are the carriers that are taking everything to where it needs to go. Knowing we're deficient, does it make sense to expect the body not to break down, to expect the body to just keep functioning if we don't give it what it needs? Guys, we're going to take a look at what the reasons are. Why are our plants and our foods so deficient? We know that there is a good portion of our population that has a desirable goal that wants to make changes. We also know that it can be difficult at times. There's some inconsistencies. Use of supplementation, interestingly enough, take a look at this chart, increases with female gender, age, income, and education. This I find so incredibly interesting. First off, interesting at the fact that, 61% ages 18 to 34 is the lowest age, the lowest category of supplementation. And even that's over 50%, which I think is phenomenal, right? But look at females compared to males. Again, I don't think it's a surprise. Women, we know typically if we're in a household with a man, we're the ones mixing up their vitamins, setting out their vitamins, making sure they take their vitamins. But you know what I loved? Look at the age 55 plus, 81%. That really is the target market. So throw it in the chat, guys. I think this is interesting. If you find this chart interesting, tell me, why do you think 81%, 55 plus? Why do you think that particular age group? I've got my own thoughts in this, but throw it in there. Even panelists, what do you think? Why do you think such a high percentage of our 55 plus is supplementing? What have they discovered? And then from there, it stays pretty high, doesn't it? It stays pretty high. Kids with a college degree, 75%. I shouldn't say kids and adults. No college degree, 70%. Still both good. Still both good. But why do you think it is? So my panelists are manning the chat. So please interact with them, because otherwise they're going to be just bored to death, and we don't want our panelists getting bored. So according to the World Health Organization, over 2 billion people worldwide are suffering from micronutrient deficiencies. So who are those people? Why are they suffering? I find this absolutely alarming. So let's take a look at the why behind it. Wouldn't you all agree? It's important to know why. Why, Shelley, can't we get what we need from our food? That's what I learned in school. I just graduated with a nutritional degree. Absolutely. And you were still taught in the year 2024 that you can get what you need from your food. I will argue this to my grave. Unless you suddenly decided you're going to eat 15 oranges, 15 big heads of broccoli, and come on, guys, right? The amount of food you'd have to take in. Soil depletion. I grew up on a large dairy farm. Modern farming practices have led to soil depletion. That means that even nutrient-rich foods that may not contain the same levels of essential vitamins and minerals they used to. So if it's not in the plant, how can we get it? If it's not in the soil, it's not getting to the plant, how's it getting in us from our food? I would love to know. How about food processing? The processing of foods often strips them of their nutritional value. Good example, refining grains takes out all the fiber and essential nutrients. That's why whole grains are recommended over the refined grains. How about the lack of diversity? How many people do you know that, every day it's hot dog, chicken nuggets, hamburgers, and fries. Hot dogs, chicken nuggets, hamburgers, and fries, and pizza on special occasion, right? So it's lack of variety and diversity, which again is going to lead to deficiency. So there is no substitute for eating a well-balanced diet. I am a huge proponent of eating whole foods, diverse variety in the foods you eat. Do the best you can to get the fiber, to get the balance in protein. Do the best you can to have an overall good diet. It is never too early to start, and it is never too late to improve the quality of your life. I'm going to say that again, because how often even I have doubted, maybe I'm working with somebody over 80 and I'm thinking, really, do I even try with them? Absolutely. If they're willing to try, let's be willing to try. Let's make sure they have the best quality of life that they can possibly have, so they too can die young, as old as possible. Taking charge, guys, it is a decision. It's a commitment to your health. It's an investment beyond any other investment. There's people out there, well, we've got a vacation planned, a big fancy vacation and a fancy location. And I'm thinking a fancy car and a fancy house and a fancy vacation. Take a look at the fancy bills you're going to be receiving as you age, right? How about if we chose to invest in our health rather than having all the fancy stuff now? Take care of ourselves, improve our health as a preventative measure along the way, so we're not trying to treat something later. Again, we are not here to tell you we can cure you. We are here to tell you we can support your health goals. We can help you with the energy. We can help you with better sleep quality. We can help you reach your goals. We can support you in slowing down the natural aging process. How many of you would love to just age gracefully? There's nothing wrong with aging. In fact, most of the people, right, that we're here with tonight would say there is something amazing about the aging process. I would never go back to the way it used to be. I love the process of learning and growing, maturing, being seasoned, moving into new seasons, right? There's a lot of good in that. Improving your skin health and your skin appearance. How about maintaining cognitive and mental health? 4 to 5 Americans are already using supplements. So can we agree? It's not a matter of, are people actually supplementing? We know they are. In fact, 81% of 55-year-olds are. So it's not a question, and it's on a steep rise. It's interesting. I spent some time with Dr. Deidre Mason this last weekend. She's brilliant in every sense of the word. And she said, what's really going on is people are supplementing because, frankly, they know their lifestyle is not feeding into a good aging process. So they're actually supplementing to offset their unhealthy lifestyles. She said, I would like to believe they're doing it because they're just amazing people and they truly believe it's amazing to take care of their health. She said there are those people, probably 20% of the population, but most people are doing it to offset what they're doing behind the scenes. I want to make it very clear to you, the reason I am here 25 years after being introduced to Nutrimetrics nutraceutical consultants is because when I looked into this line, I was specifically looking for a clinically evidenced, comprehensive, synergistic blend of natural ingredients sourced from the right locations, blended at the right amounts. I wanted to know that every facility was FDA regulated. I wanted to know that the quality assurance was there for purity, potency, and the quality of ingredients. I needed to know there was the certificate of analysis, that we had the good manufacturing practices. Every box is checked. The quality is there. I needed to know that the company was aware that there's a lot of people with allergens out there, that they would avoid at all cost bringing ingredients in that may cause issue with somebody who may have an allergic response. Guys, we have done everything in our power, from quality assurance to double checking and triple checking our product to make sure we are bringing you the absolute best. I am not saying there aren't other good products. I am saying that this company is doing everything in their power to make sure that we have the best. We are a brokerage company. We don't manufacture our products. I love that because to you, the consumer, here's what that should mean. We don't have to force a sale. We don't have to get rid of our stuff because we don't have funds tied up in manufacturing and storing those products. We get to move with the trends. We get to bring in the absolute best in every category and trademark and patent those technologies. Let's talk about delivery of your supplement. This is really key to me, and this is why I ended up partnering with the nutraceutical Nutrimetrics. As a health professional, most of you who are in the health professional lines, you are looking for something that sets itself apart. We know that unlike people, vitamins, they're not going to wait in line. So we need to make sure that when you take a vitamin, it is not going to be impacted by the breakdown within your stomach. So what is it? I will ask you, what is it that you are doing, or your company that supplies you your supplements? What are they doing to ensure that your product is surviving the natural process of digestion? Because most companies, it's not surviving. And if it does, it's because there's so many binders, fillers, and coatings that it honestly never does break down and find its way to the cell receptor. There's only so much that can be transported into your cell receptors at one time. So guys, it is important that there's science to back how your product is being absorbed. How are your vitamins and minerals being shuttled in? How do you know that they're actually being dragged from the lumen to the bloodstream? How do you know? We know. We actually know because it's scientifically proven and it's continually checked to make sure that they do. There are limited number of shuttles. There are limited number of absorption sites, but the vitamin and mineral absorption can absolutely be enhanced simply by presenting concentrated solutions that actually get to the absorption site. I hope you hear me and understand. This is why so many people say, how do you do it? You seem so healthy, so vibrant. You work out, you're fit, you eat well. This is how I do it, people. This is how I keep mental clarity, keep balance, because the vitamins and minerals I choose to put in my body are the best, most bioavailable, and the best absorbed. And that is how we do it. I want this for you. I want you to experience isotonic. I want you to experience what it's like to actually have a vitamin and a mineral received. Do you guys know that IV fluids, IV vitamins that, are very popular in states like Arizona, because Arizona tends to attract lots of people who are going into retirement. So they're looking for the quick fix, right? Stick a needle in my arm, give me my vitamins, and good to go. People who want to cure a hangover quick. Do you realize there's sugar and salt in that IV fluid? There has to be. Otherwise, it can't be broken down into the correct osmotic pressure. Dee McNamara is on with us tonight. She's a panelist. She's a registered nurse. Reach out to Dee. Ask her what she thinks about the isotonic solution and the absorption when it's at the correct osmotic pressure. Because as a nurse, you stick a needle in somebody's arm, whatever you're putting in them has to match their body fluids. We've done the same thing with vitamins and minerals. And now you say, well, they must taste disgusting. Nope, actually, they taste quite delicious. So we have gone to great length to make sure that what you're taking in is going to be maximized at absorption sites. A pill is not going to fully deliver into the bloodstream. It's not going to get there oftentimes because of the binders, the fillers, and the coatings. You're looking at your pill bottle going, but Shelley, look what's in this. Frankly, I don't care. If it doesn't get absorbed and it doesn't get received at the cell receptor, I don't care. Because it doesn't matter how good the bottle looks. In fact, a lot of times, guys, you would be shocked, absolutely shocked, if you had somebody of intelligence, meaning a doctor, a professional who knows how to read the bottle and the label, somebody of Dr. D's intelligence who can pick apart that label, because it is amazing. She shared a lot with us this weekend, and we learned a ton about reading labels when we spent that time with her. What we do know is this: gastric emptying reveals, number one, the stomach literally empties in squirts. Number two, the more sugar, carbohydrates present, the slower the stomach empties. Number three, the greater the volume of liquid in the stomach, the greater the initial rate of emptying. Now we know that isotonics is specifically formulated at the exact osmotic pressure, so it squirts at the perfect pace. And the body squirts it in as needed, and the cell absorbs it at that exact right pace. So within 5 minutes per dose of isotonics, guess what? It's already in your bloodstream. Unheard of, unmatched. And again, unless you want to stick a needle in your arm every day, which I'm going to guess, drinking a delicious cocktail versus that, most of us would take it. Sugar content strongly influences the rate of gastric emptying. Now, we know that there is, with the isotonics, the ability to actually have fast controlled delivery of the nutrients in there. We do this by controlling what's in the actual supplement, glucose and fructose. Let's look at the actual caloric intake per serving, only 8 calories. I think we can all live with 8 calories. The fructose is the principal sugar, and it scores low on the glycemic index. Anybody like Dr. D or Kim Rayner that's into supporting people with their healthy lifestyle, with their weight management goals, you know how important it is to have a low glycemic index on that. That's why we chose fructose, naturally from fruit, sweet potatoes, carrots. So if you're eating fruit, sweet potatoes, or carrots, chances are you're taking in fructose from those very foods. There's active ingredients, there's base ingredients. Let's take a look at the purpose behind every ingredient. Now, if you have a question on this, throw it in the chat, and I will have the panelists bring that back to me, and I will respond to that through our Facebook in order to answer that. But this is worth a screenshot. So even if you are somebody that is nutraceutical trained within the Nutrimetrics line, and you have this question, you're wondering, what is the fructose and glucose in there for? It's actually in there to control the gastric emptying, to control the osmolality of that product, and to make it taste good. But then you've got the citric and the malic acid in there. They are in there to be buffers, to make sure in supporting that product in remaining in the right balance, the right pH balance, so that it goes in. It supports the effervescence of that product. The effervescence supports the ability for that product to squirt. So when you first mix up your isotonics, you're going to notice they fizz a little bit. We've got some desiccants in there as flow agents and to keep that product dry. Then we have the maltodextrin to handle moisture and the osmolality, consistency. And then finally, one more buffer and effervescent. People say, I don't know about those things. Here's what I can tell you. Every ingredient is sourced, raw ingredient, hand-picked, hand-chosen from the exact correct source, so it does not impact any of us in a negative way. You say, well, I don't know. I've heard fructose is negative for the liver. Who knows how much fructose has to be taken in one sitting to have a negative impact on our liver? Throw it in the chat. D. McNamara, I want you to watch for me because you may know the answer from this weekend. How much fructose needs to be taken in from one sitting in order for it to have a negative impact on the liver? I'll give you guys a second to respond to this, and then I'm going to tell you the actual answer. It looks like we have a lot of people possibly afraid to answer, but for those that are brave enough to throw an answer in there, it's 130 grams. It would be 65 servings of isotonics. If you're taking 65 servings of isotonics, there's an issue, right? So the little bit of fructose in the isotonics, which is 2 grams per serving, is not going to have any negative impact. In fact, full advantage. So you get products that clear the stomach at optimal rate, a product that is buffered to protect those nutrients from the hydrochloric acid. We protect our ingredients so they get to the cell receptor. Most companies will never go to the great lengths we do to make sure that that product is protected through digestion. And that carbon dioxide, that's going to support that effervescent reaction that we need to have that squirting take place and the viscosity of the mucus layer in the intestinal tract. The base ingredients in isotonics are going to deliver the same concentration of particles found in your other body fluids, blood, plasma, sweat, tears, and they do not contain any fillers or binders or soy or wheat or dairy. So we've covered the bases for most of the population. You say, how do we know? There's other OPC3s out there. You speak so highly of this antioxidant your company has, and we're going to bring on a panelist that will speak highly actually of this antioxidant. We've got Audra Boyd on in the background today. Audra can throw it in the chat. Have her speak to OPC3 and what it did for her. You will be shocked and amazed when she was really, truly near death, could not even get herself out of bed, very, very sick. And her doctor supported her with the OPC3, our powerful antioxidant. But you can see here on this chart, the deep red compared to the orange, an OPC3 delivered as an isotonic versus an OPC in a tablet form. There is no comparison. In 5 to 6 minutes, it is in the bloodstream. Now, sometimes people say, well, how do you know that there's a disadvantage to pill delivery? Well, we do know actually, because there's a ton of science behind it. They may not completely dissolve. They may get caught in the fold of your stomach. And a pill oftentimes dissolves, but the water taken with it makes the stomach dump contents and absorption sites become absolutely saturated. It doesn't wait in line, folks. It just passes through. And we have proof of that. This is an x-ray that was taken. You can absolutely see 2 days ago, that pill is still sitting in the rectum, literally being able to read the label. Taken the day of the x-ray, sitting in the ascending colon. Taken the day before the x-ray, sitting in the transverse colon. Guys, if you don't believe me, believe the proof in the x-ray. This is why I am so opposed to people wasting their dollars on the over-the-counter buy one, get one absolute junk science products. You're wasting your money, probably hurting your health more than helping. So nurses out there, when you call them bedpan bullets, you're 100% right. They are bedpan bullets, which is why I believe isotonics is the route to go. It is the most advanced nutraceutical formula. It has the most superior delivery with maximum results. You will get the most for your money when you choose to go the isotonic route. We, with Nutrimetrics nutraceuticals, have some things like curcumins or vivaquins or glutecues that are in a pill form. The omegas, of course, in capsule form. Why? Because some ingredients are not water soluble. Because some ingredients have a disgusting odor and taste, and you simply just would not take them if you had to drink them. Some ingredients are oils or oily. Some are plant-based ingredients made into a pill. They can go through the normal digestive process, but be released into the system just as though you were eating food. And that's the best we can do for some of those plant-based ones. So the company behind this product, the company that contracts with those manufacturers, the company that does everything in their power to have the best medical advisory board is Market America with Nutrimetrics Nutraceuticals, the best in the world. Trademarking and patenting our live back and BioTrack in our probiotics, ensuring they lie dormant and they are not going to be impacted by the stomach acid. They will actually find their way, BioTrack their way with a patented delivery system from upper to lower GI. Patented isotonic, a trademark term with the delivery that we. All of our products have scientific substantiation. All of our products are clinically evidenced with clinically evidenced ingredient. You'll notice we do not have folic acid in our products. It is quadrafolic. Why? Because anybody who knows anything about wellness knows that folic acid actually should not be consumed because it does not get absorbed or broken down and can become toxic. Quadrafolic, on the other hand, is broken down into the active form so the cell will receive sun active iron, making sure that we use sun active iron so you're not going to get that aftertaste or the stomach upset from any of our products that contain the mineral iron. And then, of course, our Lactospore, our core biome, some of our probiotics, our weight management products, the pycnogenol in the OPC3 that Audra hopefully wrote about, Aster Real coming from natural and potent algae, tonillin in one of our supplements for weight management, and curcugreen, which is the best to support your curcumin in getting the highest absorption possible. Curcumin is a very difficult ingredient to take in, but it is highly important, especially for women, to get the detoxification processes in the body. Now, I'm going to mention a few products tonight, and at the end, I'm going to bring this point back, so take a picture of this, because I will come back and say any product I mentioned tonight, we are going to offer at a discount. It is valuable to try something, to consider an upgrade if you're already supplementing, which we know most of you are. There is a multivitamin at the upper left. There is a children's multivitamin at the upper right. We have the prenatal vitamin in the middle left and the women's health essential multivitamin in the middle right. We have the 55 plus to the bottom left. The anti-aging essential multivitamin to the bottom right. Every one of them is excellent in its class. Every one of them is best in its class. Personally, I love the anti-aging because it has the coenzyme Q10, 5,000 IUs of vitamin D, gives me the support I need with all of my vitamins and minerals, and works to support mental and aging clarity. So backed by science, best in class, clinical studies, excellent deliveries, daily essentials kits and daily essentials packets is where I hang my hat and where I think most of us feel comfortable starting. So I'm going to mention first, the Daily Essentials Kit is the one product that we absolutely believe is impacting lives across the globe. There are 4 key nutrients in this kit. OPC3, the product I mentioned with the pycnogenol, the most powerful antioxidant known to man. The calcium with 5 shapes of calcium, and actually has the malic and citric acid so that we ionize the calcium so that it is not impacted or affected by the stomach acid, but those 5 shapes can be sent to the cell receptors. Activated methylated B complex, stress, energy, head discomfort, irritability, just overall mental cognition and capacity, not to mention that baby is the taxi driver for almost everything you bring into your body. And finally, why I like the bottles, you can get the multivitamin with or without iron. I prefer with iron for all of my clients and myself, unless they've been told otherwise. You can also get this in a box of packets. If you'd rather just tear open a packet and take the Daily Essentials packet, fantastic. Either one is great. The bottles is going to have a little better price point. Those are 90 serving bottles. This is a 1-month supply. Tear open a packet. In the packet, you cannot get iron. So I want to make sure everyone is aware who's looking for iron. However, it may be a place to start. In fact, a very good friend of mine out of Ventura, California, has joined us tonight because she was, I like to describe her like that plant that was so dry. It was doing what it could to survive, to live a healthy life. And at the same time, once trying Daily Essentials, it was as though the plant got a fresh source of water for the first time in its life. Please help me welcome to share her experience with our Daily Essentials, Susan Mercer.
Thank you, Shelley. I do actually currently feel like a very well-watered plant. When I was introduced to this information, it was actually the business side of it, and they said try a vitamin. And at the time, I was taking a name brand gummy, women's gummy from Costco. And, they said, you have to follow these specific instructions. I said, okay, whatever, I can do that. They were very, very specific about it. They said, empty stomach, this packet, 8 ounces of water, not 7, not 9, and it'll fizz up, stir it up, drink it, and then on your way you go. I said, okay. So day one, they sent me a 3-day packet. I said, all right. I stopped taking my multi gummy from Costco. I get up in the morning, I walk up to the counter, I take my cup, I put it on the counter, I put the packet in, and I added 8 ounces of water. It fizzed up, effervesced. I stirred it up, I drank it down. It was pretty good, I have to tell you. It's kind of like a berry flavored Tang. Like, remember old Tang? And I got on with the business of making my breakfast, putzing around the kitchen, getting everything ready to go. And it was the funniest thing. It was maybe 5, maybe 10 minutes later. And I find myself back at the counter. And I've got one hand on one hip and one hand on the other. And I'm like this. I'm like ready to go. I was energized. I was alert. I was like, okay, let's go. And it was pretty cool. And that to-do list you have every day, like I got to do this and I got to do that. Oh no, 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 no. I was like ninja brain. It was like and that and I was like that all day long. Didn't put it together. Really no clue. Slept like a baby. I had a very good day. I get up day 2. Same thing. Cup, packet, 8 ounces of water, fizz, 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 stir, 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 drink, 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 and off I go to make my breakfast. Again, 5, maybe 10 minutes later, there I am, hands on hip like flipping Wonder Woman, ninja brain going on. And it was great. I had all this energy, all this alertness. It was like, I just, again, kind of didn't get it. By the end of day 2, I was like, there's something going on here. I have a science background. I'm a bit of a skeptic. My background's in exercise physiology. So by the end of day 2, I'm like, I need to find out what this is because I'm pretty sure it's drugs. All right. It's not drugs. I promise you, it is not drugs. And as I started to study it and go into the science that Shelley was talking about, I realized it is 4 things in one. It is a multivitamin. It is the calcium. It is the B. And then it was this OPC3. And I didn't really understand what OPC3 was at that point. But I said, okay, I've never felt like this. I can't recall having so much energy, so much alertness. So day 3 was the same. And at this point, I started going to everybody I know. I was like, didn't tell them anything. I go, listen, would you try this and just tell me what happens? I'm like, we're gonna have Wonder Women all over the world. And I did. I gave it, oh my gosh, friends, family, anybody I trusted their opinion and knew they would tell me the truth. Now, I will tell you, most people did not have the same Wonder Woman effect I did. That is actually, it turns out my body has to have vitamins or supplements processed a particular way. Otherwise, it's called methylated. And if it's not that way, it doesn't matter how much or how good it isn't going to get through the cell. So I really was a withered plant. But I will tell you, every single person that tried it did get value. Everybody is different, and I can't recommend them high enough. And if you try
Yes.
them and you're a Wonder Woman, please let me know.
Absolutely, Susan. And I thank you for that. And there were lots of hearts and lots of applause, and absolutely grateful to have you on tonight to share that. And I do think, I've seen a lot of people, especially women, it seems like have that same effect. But guys, do we realize 80% of the population struggles with an intrinsic factor where they need to have methylated activated vitamins? And so there is truly a reason that Susan had the response, and she's just doing absolutely amazing ever since. So guys, I'm hoping that tonight, the first of our 9-month series, is supporting you in understanding the importance of supplementation. It is no longer a luxury. It is absolutely a necessity and a requirement. And I will tell you the first things that you will probably notice: you're sleeping better, your energy is better, you feel more balanced, you feel more grounded, mentally you're handling stress better, you're going to notice your skin looks more radiant. There's lots of simple benefits you'll notice in the beginning. So it is a pleasure to be here with you this evening. So grateful for all of you who attended. A great turnout for our first one. Please reach out to the person who invited you. They have a special free gift for you. We do have trial samples that we can give you on some of the products we talked about. They also are going to offer you a 10% discount that is good through this Friday on any products we talked about tonight. And we'll be doing this at every event as we talk about different things. Any products we talk about that night will be 10% off, must be ordered by end of week. Join us for our upcoming series. We're going to call this the Third Tuesday series, a third Tuesday of each month. All events will start promptly at 7:30 Central. And we're going to first start out, obviously, just laying out the basics, laying out the foundation. Then we're going to move into heart health and stress support. I would take a picture of this if anybody is questioning what our schedule is up and coming. Then in September, we're going to go to focus, sleep, energy, cognition. In October, we're going to hit on gut and digestive health. Can't wait to have Kim Rayner share her testimony on that. In November, we'll hit metabolic health, blood sugar, diabetes. And then in January, we're going to go to our men's health, because I truly believe it is so often overlooked. Kim Elliott, I know, rock on, right? And then finally in February, we're going to focus in on our kiddos, our children's health. So join us next time. Invite a friend. If you enjoyed this tonight, please send me a message and let me know. Give us some feedback. Definitely reach out to the person who invited you. The first thing they want is your email. The second thing they want is to know if it's okay if they send you a sample. And the third is, are you ready to make a change in your life? Which brings us full circle right back to where we started. Is the only constant. My name is Shelley Bow. Find me on Facebook through thewoodswellness.com. There's my cell phone number. Don't call me, text me. Dee, I saw your face. I can only imagine all of a sudden my phone ringing off the hook. I will say this: I have enjoyed being here with you tonight. I've enjoyed this being the first of all of our 9-month series, and I enjoy all of you coming on and taking the time, both as panelists and guests, with us tonight. I hope you guys have a great rest of the night. Thanks so much. Thanks, everybody.